Hello guys and welcome back to the kitchen top where we play casual Magic the Gathering and, well, pretty much just casual Magic the Gathering. We are back with more Pauper Commander where I'll be piloting my Cruel Celebrant deck and Sam is piloting Sharktocrab. Sam keeps an opening hand of Shamble Shark, Earthen Arms, Skitter Eel, Earth Brawn, New Horizons, an Island, and a Forest. I keep an opener of Ashes to Ashes, Altar's Reap, Death Cultist, Grave Purge, 2 Swamps, and a Plains. Just before we start, I'd like to say a massive apology for not putting out any content in the last 6 months. It's been quite busy, but at the end of the day, I've also just been quite lazy. Anyway, we've got a lot more super fun planned content coming up soon, so hopefully I can get off my ass and actually do that. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get to the game. Sam throws down a Forest and passes turn. I play a Swamp and tap it to play a Death Cultist. Sam marries his Forest with an Island and passes back. I play a Plains, tap both my lands for my commander, and swing in for 1. In my end step, Sam flashes in a Sharktocrab. In his turn, Sam plays Rampant Growth to get another Forest, and then attacks with Sharktocrab, which I then block and kill with my commander. I let my commander go to the graveyard, putting Sam to 29 and me to 31. I play a second Plains, and tapping 2, I play Resource for return, getting my commander back, and I swing in for another 1. Sam finds his 4th land and taps out for his commander. I play my second Swamp, and tapping 2 I also play my commander. I cast Innocent Blood, killing Sam's commander and my Death Cultist. This triggers my commander, putting Sam to 27 and me to 32. Sam taps 4 to cast his Skittering Eel, then well and truly messes up.
Oh, I just moved the camera.
I play a Swamp.
I'm gonna play...
I cast a Grave Purge, putting my Death Cultist on top of my library, then drawing it. I then cast said Death Cultist. Sam taps 2 and a blue to adapt his eel, then swings in, putting me to 27. I play another Plains, and then tapping a white and a black, I cast Altar's Reap, sacrificing my Death Cultist, which triggers my commander and draws me 2 cards. Tapping 3, Sam then casts New Horizons. He puts it on his island, then changes his mind and puts it on his Forest. He puts the 1/1 counter on his eel. He then taps the Forest for 2 mana, casting Earthen Arms, putting another 2 counters on his eel. He swings in with his big boy eel, but before damage, I cast Unmake, exiling it. Sorry, Sam. He can't quite believe this card is a common, which just goes to show how powerful this format is. I tap 2 to cast Unruly Mob, then swing in for 1 commander damage. Sam taps 3 mana for an Homunculus. In his end step, I cast Vicious Offering, sacrificing my commander to kicker it. This drains him for 1 and gains me 1, puts 1 counter on my Unruly Mob, and kills his Homunculus. Unfortunately, Sam casts Earth Brawn, which means his Homunculus lives to see another day. I tap 3 mana to cast Read the Bones, scrying 1 to the bottom, losing 2 life and drawing 2 cards. I then play a Plains, tap that and a Swamp to cast Journey to Nowhere to get rid of his creature. I then attack in for 2 damage. In his turn, Sam taps 2 mana to play a Signet, and then taps the rest of his mana and the Signet to cast a Spore Barrack Troll. This enters with 2 1/1 counters, and he passed the turn. I play a Swamp and pass. Sam taps down 4 mana to cast Hunt the Weak, putting a counter on his troll and fighting my creature, which kills it. He then swings in for 3 damage. I tap a Plains and a Swamp and cast a Child of Night, and then pass to Sam. Sam taps 2 mana to cast an Aquastrand Spider. This enters with 2 1/1 counters. He then taps the rest of his mana to cast a Longshot Squad. His board state is scary. Swinging in, I declare no blocks and go to 21. I pay 3 mana to cast Ashes to Ashes, losing me 5 life and exiling his Troll and Longshot Squad. I go to 16 and then tap 3 for a Rising Populace, and then swing in with my Child of Night, putting him to 20 and me up to 18. Sam taps all his mana to recast his commander and then pass his turn. I tap a Swamp to cast Duress. I look at his hand and then make him discard Applied Biomancy. I then cast Bone Splinters, sacrificing my Child of Night to kill his commander. This puts another 1/1 counter on my Rising Populace. With his commander out the way, I attack in, putting him to 17 life. In his turn, he taps out his mana to cast Grow from the Ashes Kicked, getting 2 islands. Passing back to me, I tap 2 mana for Grim Harvest, returning Death Cultist to my hand. I then cast the Death Cultist. I sacrifice the Death Cultist, draining and gaining 1 and putting a counter on my Rising Populace. This also triggers Grim Harvest and I pay 3 to put it back into my hand. I swing in, putting Sam to 12. In his turn, Sam taps out all his mana to recast his commander once again. In his end step, I tap 2 to cast Grim Harvest again, getting back Death Cultist. I tap a black to cast Death Cultist. Then tapping my 2 creatures and 4 additional mana, I cast Triplicate Spirits, which gets me 3 1/1 spirits, which I use Angel tokens for some reason. Sam then taps 7 mana to cast Cytospawn Shambler, which enters with 1/1 counters. In my turn, I sacrifice Death Cultist, draining and gaining 1, putting a 1/1 counter on my Rising Populace. Then I cast Grim Harvest, getting back Death Cultist. Then I cast Death Cultist. Then I sacrifice Death Cultist, draining and gaining 1, putting a 1/1 counter on my Rising Populace, and paying 3 to return Grim Harvest to my hand. Sam taps 4, adapting his commander and tapping down my Rising Populace. He taps an additional 2 to play Growth Spiral, drawing a card and putting a land onto the battlefield. Then plays a land for his turn. He then taps an additional 3 to play a Croconura. He swings in, I block his commander and take 6 damage. And in his end step, I recast Grim Harvest, getting back my Death Cultist. I cast Recover, getting back my commander and drawing a card. I then play a Plains, which I tap along with a Swamp to recast my commander. I also play Death Cultist. Passing turn, Sam moves directly into attack, swinging with his commander and his big boy. I declare Death Cultist and my Spirit as blockers. Before damage, I sacrifice my Death Cultist, draining and gaining 2, and I pay to get Grim Harvest back into my hand. My Spirit dies, draining and gaining 1, and then I take 9 damage. I play a Swamp for turn, and then proceed to loop my Death Cultist and Grim Harvest several times. On the final one, Sam taps 5 to cast Contradict, countering my Grim Harvest. In his turn, Sam taps 6 mana to cast a big old Scuttlegator. Then using Graft, he moves one of the counters from his Aquastrand Spider onto his Scuttlegator. He attacks him with his commander, which I block with my commander. It dies, draining and gaining 1, and I pay the mana to get back Grim Harvest. I then go to 9 life. I think I lost a bit of footage here, but I played a Tithe Drinker and Death Cultist a few times to get Sam to 2. Sam traps 3 to play an Implement of Examination, and then taps another blue to sacrifice it, and he draws the cards from both those triggers then. Sam then taps some more mana to cast a Chillbringer, which taps down my Rising Populace, sadly. Sam declares attacks with 3 very large creatures. I declare blockers for the 2 biggest, and then Sam taps 3 mana to give them both trample.
Sacrifice this. Puts me to 14. Puts it to 12. Exactly a kill. GG. Good game. I didn't even need to see what was next, like anything, and I would have won. Flip, man.
What an intense ending to that game. With the Extort trigger on Tithe Drinker, any other spell and I could have killed Sam, but he pipped me to the post exactly to 0. absolutely crazy. I can't seem to get Cruel Celebrant quite to work very well in 1v1s. I feel like when we eventually play a multiplayer version of this game, it'll certainly do a lot more work within that. I must say I am in love with the Sharktocrab deck. It's not actually Sam's deck, but he piloted it very well. All the synergy with +1/+1 counters just makes it very difficult to stop. I did not have enough removal for him. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode of Sensei's Kitchen Top. We've been playing Pauper Commander. I hope you're enjoying the content. And once again, I'm incredibly sorry about the delay on this video. I have no excuse. Hopefully, more fun things are coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks guys, see you later.